This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen now.
Thank you for listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast, where we discuss the latest and greatest news in the world of sports. I am Ben.
Hey, Ben, I'm Alex.
Hey there. I feel like I've never met you before, even though we've 23 episodes in now.
And we've also have the whole 7 years of knowing each other thing.
Yeah, we do have that going for us, too.
As Stained once said, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
I love that song, man.
That's such a great song, too.
I listen to it all the time. I always say that to my girlfriend whenever like it's relevant. And it's been a while. And then I'll start singing that song, and then I have to listen to it. So
yeah, well, maybe on our first break you'll have to listen to it.
Oh, my.
Because we just started talking about it.
It's like Our Kiss from a Rose.
You know what
This
else
is another song Ben and I always
You know what else has been a while?
What?
Since Tim Duncan was on a team not named the Spurs.
Yeah, oh, man, that was a pretty good
You have to go back to college. You have to go back to Wake
leeway.
Forest Demon Deacons.
That is what Wake Forest is?
The Demon Deacons. Isn't that great?
I thought they were something else.
No.
That's a weird name.
I like it.
There's much worse. You could be like the Banana Slug or...
It's unique. No, I like that too. I like the unique ones. Like I would hate to be part of like the Wildcats. How many Wildcats are there? Arizona, Kentucky, Cardinal. There's like a lot of Tigers.
Yeah.
LSU, Auburn. I can just, off the top of my head, I would hate to have that.
And then Auburn is, they're technically a Tiger, but then they're like War Eagle. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but anyway, so Tim Duncan, it's been a long time since he's been on a different team, not in the Spurs. It's been 19 years.
19 years.
But you know what team Tim Duncan is now a part of?
Tell me, Ben.
The retirement team.
Oh, man.
Because he hung up his shoes after 19 years.
And he retired in such a Tim Duncan fashion, too.
Just doesn't have like a huge conference, nothing, just like announces it.
He retired with a layup, not a dunk, as you can say.
Tim Duncan, like you mentioned it though, sort of Tim Duncan-esque. I haven't thought about that, how he retired.
He's just so, it's like Marshawn Lynch. Marshawn Lynch retired in such a Marshawn Lynch way. Just not during the Super Bowl, not really telling anybody, just like peace.
Right, he did on Twitter,
just peace, and he showed his cleats hanging. I was like, why'd you waste your cleats like that, Marshawn? I was like, oh, wait a minute, hanging them up. I get it. How many throws did that take you? Then I started thinking outside the box. But he totally did it in a Tim Duncan way. And, I mean, after such an amazing career, 5 NBA titles, 2 NBA MVP awards, 15 All-Star performances. And, I mean, he was 40, and he still played pretty well last year.
Well, obviously, he didn't really do too well last year.
He lost a step, a very notable step, obviously. But
maybe 3 or 4 last year.
3 or 4 steps, maybe.
Yeah,
I could believe that.
He averaged 8 points and 7 rebounds, which, again, is not terrible. Don't get me wrong, that's not terrible, but, I mean... It's not Tim Duncan.
No, I mean for years.
It was time. Yeah. I'll say it was time.
Yeah. I mean his final game, they played Oklahoma City in the Western Conference semifinals, and he had a decent game, 19 points and 5 rebounds, 1 block, and 34 minutes on the court. So, I mean they got blown out, but
yeah, Tim Duncan goes down only second behind Kobe Bryant, also a recently retired NBA player. Playing for the longest amount of time under one franchise. Kobe was 20 seasons, Tim Duncan 19. So,
And then Dirk's about to tie that up this year.
No, Dirk's about to go to 18 this year. Oh, no, he's going to go to entering 19.
Yeah.
And then you got to figure he's going to be playing another. He has a 2-year deal, so.
I think he can get to 20.
Well, unless he retires after this year, then yeah, he's going to. So, so Tim Duncan, I mean, where do you put Tim Duncan on your all-time ranks there?
Oh, he has to be. Oh, man. I want to say top 5.
Wow. Okay.
If maybe just outside the top 5. I don't know. He just did it in such a way. He was the guy you want on your team because of the skill and being the teammate he was. And he just, he just came to work every day and he did what he was supposed to do. He never got in trouble. He never got suspended as far as I know. He just, played as like a professional. And it was always really fun to watch, to be honest. And he honestly was probably part of the first big 3 in the NBA, I would say, with him Parker and Ginobili, which is officially ending now.
Yeah, the end of an era there. I'd say Tim Duncan is by far the best power forward ever. And Tim Duncan goes down. He averages for his career. He averages 19 points, almost 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, shot 51% for his career. That's unbelievable. And like 19 points per game, you might look at that as kind of being a little low, but he didn't average 20 points. He averaged less than 20 points for the last 10 years. So because he like you mentioned with Parker and Ginobili, kind of took a backseat role as part of that big three. So many great other players around him. The Spurs organization, since they had Duncan 19 years in a row of 50-plus wins.
Yeah.
Tim Duncan's winning percentage all time is 710.
Yeah,
so on average, he's winning about 7 out of 10 games. So he's obviously a huge part of that, but it's not just Tim Duncan there. So the stats, I feel like, are really misskewed. But yeah, just an absolute legend. Best power forward ever, in my opinion. As far as all-time rank goes, I'd probably put him in the top 10. I think he's probably,
for sure in the top 10.
I think he's probably outside of that top 5. But, I mean, by far, if I were to make a dream team, we did this a couple weeks ago here at the studio. So if I had to make a dream team, I think Tim Duncan would be my starting power forward.
All right. I mean, like you said, he is definitely one of the best power forwards ever. He made the NBA All-Defensive First Team 8 times, too. He's only the third player to ever do that and to win 1,000 career games, regular season games also. But I mean, he wasn't just he wasn't just an offensive player. He wasn't just a defensive player. He did it all.
Yep.
And he was so respected by all of almost. I don't know. I've never heard anybody say something bad about Tim Duncan from another player. And then one last bit of kind of fun info, I guess you could look at, is with the retirement of Duncan yesterday and Kobe Bryant he announced it the last season, but Kevin Garnett is the final player in the NBA who played in the 97-98 season.
And you got to figure he probably is going into his last year, I would think.
Yeah, he signed through next season, so he's probably got a year, maybe 2 left. He's
pretty old, but he does have that.
He is 40.
He did come out of high school, so he does have that 1-year gap over Duncan.
Yeah, he started in 95.
Yeah, so I mean, but yeah, just like you mentioned, he's definitely on the edge of his career. I'd say I don't see him playing 2 years again. I'd say this is going to be his last year. And he says with Minnesota, the team who drafted him. So going out where he started, he didn't really stay there the whole time like Tim Duncan or Kobe Bryant did, but he still can go back and end it where he started. So that's good for Kevin Garnett if he chooses to do that option.
Yeah. And one other thing I like to think about too with Tim Duncan is imagine all the power forwards that came and went in the 19 years he played for the Spurs.
Well, then, are you talking about on the other teams, or?
I'm just talking about in the NBA in general.
Oh, so many of them. Now you can say the game has really changed because you look at some of the best power forwards that really stretch. They're really stretch fours. Guys like Draymond Green, Kevin Love. With Tim Duncan, he kind of really was just a back low, back you in post player, and then he would step out and hit that mid range, patented backboard shot. So.
People had tried to emulate that.
No one really did it like Duncan, though.
Nobody ever really did anything like Duncan.
No. So, like I said, I say best power forward ever.
I agree with you on that. I'd say, best power forward
and he's going out 5 rings, 2 MVPs. I think he'll maybe go into a coaching role. I would not be surprised if he's like some sort of assistant behind Popovich. Popovich coached him every single time, every year he was there. He had great tutelage from Popovich. Also, guys like the Admiral David Robinson when he came into the league. So I would not be surprised if Duncan comes on as like an assistant coach under Popovich.
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
And, of course, we'll have to update that here at the Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast if that does happen.
You nailed it, man. All right, well, we are going to take our first break of the day here at the Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. But Ben and I will be back, and we're going to be talking about Draymond Green, so staying in basketball here. So we will be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
We're back here at the Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Alex having a little fun there. Gotta have the 6-shooters as always.
I'm gonna get up next time and I'm gonna kick.
Kick?
Like donkey kicks.
I don't know, man. That's a little too much.
Hopefully I don't mess up the sound.
It's a little excessive.
I hope I don't mess up the sound stuff on the wall.
We definitely
dampener.
would not want that to happen. So hopefully you don't.
I won't.
Make sure you don't.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, moving on to Draymond Green, Golden State Warriors. Basketball player Draymond Green. He got arrested yesterday for alleged assault, slapping a fan in a bar that apparently was heckling him. You have a little bit more of the details on what happened after, but pretty much what apparently happened is, the only thing that came out initially was, hey, he slapped some guy or assaulted some guy, But he was arrested for assault in the downtown business district around 2:30 a.m. Oh, you got pretty late there, man.
Yeah, Sunday night, Monday morning, I guess you could, however you want to put it.
But. Yeah, but apparently it was a fan that was heckling him. He wasn't far from the Michigan State campus where he, like you and I were talking about during the break, became quite the legend. What are some more details on this?
So it was at an East Lansing restaurant, bar, Conrad's Grill. I don't really think that really is very important here. But so supposedly the guy was just in his face the whole time. Not sure what he was sort of heckling him about. Reports are saying that it might be a Michigan State student athlete, which you mentioned is really close to the campus, so that could be a possibility. I'm not sure why a Michigan State student athlete would be heckling Draymond Green, because he was such a respected Michigan State basketball player.
Maybe he's a Cavs fan.
Or maybe he's a Warriors fan and he's upset that they lost, or he's Draymond, why did you not do good? Or I don't know. I'm not sure. And Draymond Green does have that history, kind of being a really emotional guy, a really provocative guy. We mentioned previously on episodes about what happened with him and LeBron and Steven Adams, sort of going below the belt there. So
that I saw a tweet that said Draymond Green got arrested and somebody's he kicked somebody again?
Yeah, well, he slapped this guy, so not much. He did.
At least he slapped him. He didn't punch him.
So he did. He was booked for misdemeanor assault. He posted $200 bond, and he's due back in court July 20th. So just about a week from tomorrow. So, but I don't. I mean, what could he possibly get? A fine? I mean, come on. What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
in court.
I think he'll be just fine. I think. It's a $200 bail. At the very least, it wasn't significant enough to even pool a significant bail amount. I think he'll be fine. If anything, he might have to.
If anything, I think this just hurts sort of the Warriors, Team USA, because they have to make official statements we apologize for our player Draymond Green doing this. We don't condone of anything like that. Mm-hmm. So if anything, I think it just hurts them, which obviously looks bad on Draymond Green as well. So I don't know. It's got to be hard for celebrities and athletes, people that are in the limelight there, to really go out and really do anything. Draymond Green's just at a restaurant trying to have a good time, maybe have a drink.
I think it's a bar.
It was a restaurant bar, so he's at the bar of the restaurant.
Restaurant bar grill.
Right.
That thing's sick.
So it's gotta be hard. He's just trying to go out, get some food, maybe have a drink, have a good time. I'm not sure if there was alcohol involved at the bar. I would imagine there would be, so you can also put that into consideration. Mm-hmm. But it's gotta be hard for them just to go out and have a good time, and you have people constantly coming up to you, whether it be
good or bad, I suppose.
Whether it be good or bad, so it's got to be hard for anyone, really, and Draymond Green just kind of got caught up, I think, so.
Happens, I guess. But
at the same time, you kind of have to. I feel like when you're in this sort of limelight, you kind of have to, whether someone's really heckling you or not, I wouldn't say necessarily slap him. You got to kind of turn the other way and say, or get a waiter or someone hey, this guy's in my face. Can you get him away from me? Or
you got to treat things differently when you're, I guess, a celebrity, or when you're in the spotlight because of being an athlete or a celebrity, whatever it is. you have. I mean, you're expected to act differently. You know, you're supposed to. It is technically. It's weird with athletes because they're kind of clocked in 24/7. You know what I mean? So they're always representing their employer. I say that with finger quotes. 24/7 all the time. You know, you do represent your franchise in a sense when you're on your own, which is a crappy way of looking at it, but it's the truth. You know, when you're on your own and you do things like that, it does kind of shine a light on your respective franchise. So hopefully it's nothing too serious for him. Like I told you before, I'm not a Warriors fan. No offense to Draymond, I couldn't really care less what happens. I don't want him to I don't want him to ruin his life or anything. I doubt it will, obviously, but little things like that. Like I don't really. It's kind of something I'm sure will get mopped up really real quick. It's not a significant thing. It's not like he legitimately assaulted him and hit him, punched him in the face, beat him up. I mean, if anything, it's weird to me that he slapped him, kind of. Kick him in the shins, man. Just go for the shins. You know how much a shin kick hurts?
Yeah, I know. I played soccer for a long time, and obviously you have shin guards for a reason.
If he was wearing, like, dress shoes, which he wasn't because I could see the picture, or there was a video of him being, like, cuffed, I would say, man, it does hurt. Wingtips hurt your shin.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it was a guy going to be
a guy as big as Draymond Green. He probably has a pretty mean slap. Like he probably hit him pretty good.
Well, think about it too. Kind of look at it both ways. Say he kicked him. Like, what do you tell the police? Hey, this dude kicked me. Or hey, Draymond Green slapped me across my face. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I mean, it's still pretty bad. I feel like Draymond's got to sort of keep his head though, and he can't be doing that. Like. This is like the third incident now, 2 on the court and 1 off the court, where he's just resulted to, whether it be incidental or not, with the ones with Adams and LeBron, that it still happened. So this is really just adding another insult here where he's like having some issues with hitting people. Like he's got to keep a level head. And like I said, it's got to be hard because you can't really be a normal person when you step out when you're in the spotlight, like you mentioned.
It sucks. But I mean, I
exactly.
remember, I want to say it was Marv Levy, famous coach of the Buffalo Bills during their 4-in-a-row Super Bowl run that they ended up losing all 4. But they used to get like death threats sent to their house, an email. They used to get their kids would hear like death threats on their answering machine. It's weird because, like I said, you can be in the off season and you're still, you're in sport mode 24/7 because you are in that, position. So it's weird. It's weird to look at.
Now you even have that on Twitter, like everywhere.
Yeah.
Like someone could be just posting like a tweet on like congratulations to like so and so, and then someone replies like, "Well, you choked in the playoffs, so that's why you're not there, and like you suck," and
Like happy birthday so and so from Draymond Green. He goes, "Hey Draymond, my birthday won't be great this year because you guys lost the finals."
Right, like
just make
stuff
him feel
like
bad,
stuff like that, and they have this constantly every single day. So you have to sort of check where you're looking at for your notifications, where your replies, whether you look at them or not. Because there's just mean people everywhere. People are trying to get a response out of you, whether they mean it or not, and it's just really cruel, and it's just a part of everything now. So
I kind of sometimes wish it was more like the 90s and 80s with that because you only had to deal with it when you would be at events and stuff, But that's just the world we live in now.
Yeah, because I can get access to any of these big-name celebrities, athletes, whatever, in the click of a button because they have a Twitter page or they have a Facebook fan page or they have a website themselves where you could leave a comment. The access is literally available for anyone at any time. So... I mean, it is what it is, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep an eye on Draymond's, his, I guess you could call it case. His 10 days, and he'll be arraigned heading into what starts next month being the Summer Olympics, and he'll be playing basketball. We'll see if that affects that in any kind of sense. But we're going to keep you guys updated on that. But we're going to take our last break here, and then we have What's Trending, our fun and awesome little segment for you guys that we enjoy doing so much. So we'll take care of that. We'll be right back here at the Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Guys, don't go anywhere.
The You want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do. All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
Whoever thinks of that music for all of our commercials is just doing a good job.
If you want to live healthy, just play Pokemon Go and go out there and walk some miles, and you'll be fine.
All right. Well, I mean, at least you get that in there. You know who else is living healthy right now?
Who's that?
Luis Scola.
Why is that?
Well, we're going to start our What's Trending segment, and as of right now, a source confirmed that the Nets have reached a one-year contract with veteran forward Luis Scola.
Do we have a money deal?
No, just a source confirming that they have reached a one-year contract. So I imagine he is a veteran. I imagine it's near the minimum for the most part.
Probably mid-veteran level exception there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you know what's funny? From the angle I'm sitting at right now, it looks like you have a nice big fur coat on. Just right over the shoulder.
Well, I just have a shirt on.
It's a nice shirt, too. I like that color.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. It's a little green, a little blue, a little white, some square patterns here. So I like it, too.
All right.
That's probably why I'm wearing it.
Well, hey, what do you have trending? We have a couple each, I think.
Okay, so I'm going to start off with my main man, Cristiano Ronaldo. So Cristiano Ronaldo, the Portuguese international star and also Real Madrid star, he was part of the UEFA Euro 2016 championship game on Sunday. It was Portugal against France.
He had a great game.
Not really. But anyway, so unfortunately for Ronaldo, he was forced to leave the game with an injury. He left the game in the 25th minute, but he actually got injured in the 8th minute. He banged into Dimitri Payet. He hurt his knee. He has a grade 1 ACL sprain. So, of course, you could mention that the injury is pretty not severe, but concerning. So he will probably have to miss at least a few weeks of his offseason here. Maybe he'll miss the start of Real Madrid camp. Who knows? But so Ronaldo, he went down to the ground after trying to get back in the game, and he knew he was done. He knew he could not further continue on. So he goes down to the ground. He starts crying. Portugal going to the game. Portugal did win the game without Ronaldo, so that's great for them. But going into the game, they had never won a major tournament in their history of football. For a Portuguese nation that has a lot of great players, that's hard. So for him to be the leader and not be able to play for his team and try to help them win a game, he goes down crying and really emotional. And then the star of the show as he goes down is just this little moth just takes over the game and just flies all over Ronaldo, flies literally on his eyeball, like on his eyelash and on his eye, and just takes over the game. It's a great visual here.
I think it was really funny.
It's funny. It's fun. Like he doesn't even bat it away, or he just caught up in the moment, just lets the moth sort of
do what he wants.
These moths were everywhere in France over the stadium because they watered the field the night before. So the moths, and they left the lights on. So the moths obviously get attracted to that. So then they're all over the field, and this moth just, maybe he was showing his sympathy for Ronaldo, that he's crying and having to leave the pitch, so he just sort of give him a hug. Just flies up to his eye and just lands on it.
Just lands there and just chills.
I mean, I'm surprised that he didn't sort of like bat it away and start like
just out of reaction.
Start flopping on the ground, because a lot of these soccer guys are accused of diving a lot and over exaggerating. One of them, Ronaldo's teammate with the Portugal team and Real Madrid, Pepe, is probably the most known to do it.
Yeah.
So
he'll fall down if you touch his jersey.
So I'm surprised he didn't do that. And then also Ronaldo's Moth has a Twitter page. So it's at Ronaldo's Moth 16, and his bio is, "I care less about Ronaldo's face when he is crying." So I just thought that was funny. It's interesting. So.
Oh man! All right. Well, some more. That's funny, man.
The video is great. It's funny.
Yeah, you guys should watch it. It's really good. I'm sure if you look up Ronaldo Moth, you'll find it.
Probably the first one.
All right, man. So clearly you and I picked the wrong line of work here, because the U.S. Open has unveiled its largest prize money structure in tennis history for this year's U.S. Open. If you make it to the round of 128 in your singles division, you earn $43,300. If you win, you earn $3,500,000.
If you make it to the round of 128,
you make $43,300. If you make it to the round of 64 in the doubles per team, you make $15,150.
Well, the doubles is not where it's at.
Yeah, unless it means per player, because it says each team. I don't know.
So that's got to be split.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
So you would get that $43,000 for reaching 128, and
Which
then
is all you do is win one match.
So then, if you got to like 64, you would get
77,200
on top of that, or the difference between the two.
I don't know actually. I imagine maybe on top of that because it's overall winnings.
Jeez, you could win just 2 matches.
I'll give you the lowdown. So 43,300 for 128. Round of 64 is 77,200. Round of 32 is 140,000 even. Round of 16 is 235,000. Quarterfinals is 450,000. Semifinals is 875,000. Runner up gets 1,750,000, and the winner earns $3,500,000.
That is incredible.
And then the winners for the doubles earn 625,000.
Boy, the doubles there's nothing there compared to the singles. So if you go from like 128 all the way to win, you could be racking up at least $5 million. Yeah,
I imagine, or maybe what it is where you end off. Maybe you get, like, say you win,
right? Like the difference.
You don't get 43,77, 140, 200. Yeah, I think you, like, if you win, you get the 3,500,000. I think if you get to the round of 32, then you would earn 140 million or 140,000 if you lost then. But then you maybe got up to the 16 and lost, so you get 235.
Jeez, man, I mean, the U.S. Open, obviously one of the biggest tournaments there is. So
yeah. I mean, we picked the wrong lineup.
Tennis is hard though. We talked about it on our last show.
Yeah,
with how fast these people serve, they serve it at like 130, 140 miles per hour just to be able to return that I could never do.
Mm-hmm. Do you have anything else? I have one more trending item. Do you have anything else for me?
I got a couple quick ones. So okay. Max Kellerman is set to replace Skip Bayless on ESPN's First Take. So
I don't love Max, but I like him a whole lot more than I liked Skip Bayless.
Yeah, Skip Bayless, not a lot of people like him. Sort of like
he's very
controversial opinions on things, as you mentioned. But so Skip Bayless did leave the show at the end of June. He's set to sign on with Fox. So he had to leave. So he had to leave the shows. Now they have found his replacement to go along with Stephen A. Smith, and it's going to be Max Kellerman. So Max Kellerman is currently on another show on ESPN, which is Sports Nation, which is based in L.A., and he's going to be leaving that gig to go back east to ESPN's headquarters and do First Take with Stephen A. Smith starting July 25th.
All right. Well, I don't think I'll watch that, but hey. If you're a fan of that show,
yeah,
then there you go.
Neither, so.
Well, my last bit of trending news today is Charles Barkley claims he has been offered $3 million to tweet, to be active on Twitter.
These happen all the time.
Mm-hmm.
People get paid just absurd amount of money to promote something on Twitter. Kim Kardashian's done it a lot. Cristiano Ronaldo's done it. LeBron, everyone's done it. But I think the highest one is Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, I mean that's her whole income is, in a sense, is all the stuff she came
like
from,
a promotion on Twitter.
That, yeah.
So what did you say about Barkley again? How much is he getting?
$3 million. Somebody offered him to tweet.
One tweet?
I don't know if it's one tweet or overall tweets, but he has been offered at times $3 million to tweet.
Man, that's incredible.
If his tweets are anything like his golf game, it is going to be very entertaining to me.
His golf game is, like you mentioned, very entertaining.
I imagine.
I've seen it live.
I've seen it live.
I've seen it live, and
I've seen it live, and it looks
just as bad as it does on TV.
It is so hard to explain because it's almost like you have a gear, like a machine, like say like those. I don't know. Say it's like those the crushers, the ones that go and then crush the can and put them out, and it's like normally it has that regular axis, a regular like half circle. It's like you added a spring in it, so it goes half circle and then just cuts out and up and then stalls and then comes back down at a weird angle. It's horrible. It is horrible. I never thought I could say I'm a better athlete than Charles Barkley, but when it comes to golf, I definitely am. Only golf.
Well, I mean, he's probably still better golfers than me.
I'm a pretty
his swing is pretty bad, but I mean, I can't golf to save my life, so I wouldn't be surprised if he could still beat me in a round. But I mean, who knows?
I don't know, man. He's pretty bad. He's pretty bad.
I don't know.
Pretty horrible.
So the ESPYs are tomorrow.
Yes, they are.
And
John Cena is the host.
Yes, I like John Cena.
I do.
I think he'll be a great host. He has some acting experience, a WWE superstar. He's probably gonna be a little funny, I think. So I like John Cena. I'm interested to see how he does. One award that I'm going to be looking forward to is the Jimmy V Award.
Yes, I love the Jimmy V Award.
And this year it will be presented to Craig Sager, TNT NBA basketball analyst. He's had his long fight with cancer about 2 years now. He's going to have it presented to him by Joe Biden.
Is he a big fan of Joe Biden?
I mean, I don't know. I think Joe Biden's probably more of a fan of him, I would say.
Okay, I can dig it.
So interesting there. Definitely looking forward to what Craig Sager has to say. I think he'll probably have a lot of words of encouragement. He's had to fight cancer here, kind of like what Jimmy V was when he sort of accepted an award like that.
I'll say one of my favorite moments of the ESPYs in the last 5 years was when Stuart Scott accepted that award. And yeah, if he is anything near what Stuart Scott's speech was, yeah, it'll be pretty good. It'll be pretty great.
Yeah, the ESPYs I'm looking forward to. There's a lot of awards that I really want to see what happens. So
me too.
And I like how they're doing the format now where it's live, because they used to do it where they would have it on like a day, and then they would show it like a few days later. But then everyone already knew what the awards who won them because they were announced. Mm-hmm. So I like that they're doing it live now. They've done that for a few years now, so that way you don't have to sort of know what happens before it's officially announced.
Yeah, which is always nice. I don't like it being ruined.
No, of course not. So
I'm so excited though. I love the ESPYs. The ESPYs is like my second favorite award show of the year.
Behind Oscars?
I like the Oscars. Yeah, I like the Oscars.
I like the Grammys.
I would say Oscars, ESPYs, Golden Globes, Grammys.
I like the Grammys.
Depending on the music year.
I feel like the Grammys is more of a concert than an award show though. So
I feel like award shows are almost concerts in a sense, no matter where they are.
Yeah, even the Oscars has a few. Like I know that The Weeknd did a performance. I think Lady Gaga did one.
A lot of times too, they'll get the musical movies that are up for, especially the Golden Globes. Oh man, all of those stage shows. But I'm excited, man. ESPYs tomorrow, 8-7 Central. So tune in. ABC, no longer only on ESPN.
Yeah, on ABC. I'm looking at some of the award categories here. Mm-hmm. Some of them will look pretty interesting. I'm currently looking at Best Game. A game that's nominated is the Cardinals versus the Packers divisional playoff game.
That was a great game, Ben.
Another one is like the Cavs and Warriors series.
The Cardinals and the Packers have won a best game before.
I feel like this one was just as good as, or if not better than the one a few years ago.
I think the only thing that was different about that one was more of a shootout overall. And this one was a good game, but it was really the ending was what was.
I agree, definitely. The first one was definitely a shootout. I think it was.
I think the first one is it's because it was a shootout, and then the way it ended with that quote unquote ghost fumble, it was pretty crazy, But,
yeah, there's a lot of great awards on here. So we have like best male and female athletes, best team. Pretty much every sport has their own award, like best fighter, best bowler, best jockey, best driver. But then there's some other ones, best breakthrough athlete, championship performance, record-breaking performance. So I definitely want to – I don't know if I'll be able to watch it. Time issue does fall into effect there. But I definitely want to at least see some of the awards. And we'll probably break them down on our shows on Thursday.
Oh, I imagine we will. Ben. And speaking of our show on Thursday, we don't have anything else to tell you until then. I'm lips are sealed.
Our lips are sealed.
There you go.
Did you set me up for that, or did that just?
It was more so like I put it out there, like if you wanted to take it, man, take it.
Well, I did.
All right, I'm proud of you for that.
Thank you.
Well, hey Ben, where can they find us?
You can find us on a ton of places. You can find us first and foremost on our podcast network's website. It's gsmcpodcast.com.
It is.
The portfolio of podcasts. There's a ton on there. Some sport related, some not. As you hear with the health and wellness commercial there. There's also a coming soon tab, so you can see podcasts that will be starting eventually on our network here. You can also find us on Twitter. It's at GSMC_sports. You can find that same handle on Instagram. You can find us on things like SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube. The GSMC Podcast Network's on YouTube. I mentioned iTunes, did I?
You did.
So
well,
yeah,
if you didn't, you just did.
iTunes, there's like a lot of places you can hear the show.
It's pretty good places, too. You subscribe, rate, comment, all that good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Ben. Well, hey, we're not going to get out of here. We actually have our soccer show to record. But, hey, if you guys want to listen to that, too, by all means, come take a look at it.
Yeah, definitely a lot to break down there. We have the Euro 2016 tournament coming to a close over the weekend, and we have a lot of transfer rumors as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a good show. So, as always, Ben and I would like to thank you guys for listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. As always, I'm Alex.
And I'm Ben.
And we will see you guys on Thursday for our next episode.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.